That water main break, no doubt, our big story here. It's affecting tens of thousands of people across Metro Detroit, and I want you to see this water. It's gushing out. This is at Drake and 14 Mile. Right now, water is completely shut off in West Bloomfield. The city activated its emergency operations center this morning, and residents in 11 other communities are under boil water advisories. We have a map to show you all those areas where people are coping with this big mess. It's affecting hospitals, schools, businesses, and homes. Right now, the city of Novi is providing updates on its website. You can find that at WXYZ.com. Now, we have a team of 7 Action News reporters at 2 hospitals and another on the scene in West Bloomfield, where that water main break is expected to cause problems for days. Let's begin with 7 Action News reporter Amir David, who has the latest on the water crisis.
Well, Keenan, I do want to give you a look at what that scene looks like at this point, so I'm going to step aside here because you can see the crews on scene. You are looking at a portion of the road closed off between 14 Mile. On 14 Mile between Drake and Farmington. This stretch of road once flooded out, as you mentioned, but as you can see, they're really getting that under control at this point. But crews really now focusing on restoring regular water use to thousands of residents who have been affected. It all happened at 5:30 Monday. The Great Lakes Water Authority experiencing a break that caused a loss of water pressure in the distribution system. 12 communities now impacted, including Bloomfield Township and Novi. All 12 cities, at least in part, now on a boil water advisory alert. Dozens of schools throughout Oakland County have closed as a result, including all schools in the West Bloomfield, Bloomfield Hills, Walled Lake, and Novi school districts. Hospitals in the area also making changes, both Providence Park in Novi and Henry Ford in West Bloomfield. On top of the boil water advisory, the authority says some communities not getting any water or low pressure water as the repairs continue. And we do now have a timeline of when these repairs are expected to finish. The Water Authority now says it will finish at the earliest by Friday late evening. They say they're going to put in a replacement pipe by tomorrow. Then they've got to do several water quality tests. So it's a process they're hoping will be done at the earliest by Friday evening. That is October 27th, Friday, October 27th. We're going to continue, of course, to stay on top of all the developments here. For now, let's send it over to Shelley Childers with more.
Amir, we're at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. They tell us they first learned they lost their water service early this morning. They had to stop taking in patients here at the hospital. They have since been given water through a water truck delivery service. This tanker truck is delivering water to these totes. The hospital will use this water to flush their toilets, but for everything else, they're using bottled water.
Bottled water is the go-to when this kind of thing happens.
Water may be pouring down 14 Mile Road, but it's come to a stop here at Henry Ford Hospital, West Bloomfield. And without that water, their medical care is hampered.
Water is vitally important in a hospital for so many reasons. First of all, we use it every day for hygiene and to keep our patients hydrated as well.
Community Relations Director Amy Strauss says they closed their clinics, diverted ambulances, and are prepped in case they have to transport current patients away.
So far, we've transferred no patients out. We're just looking at the possibility, making preparations should that become necessary.
The hospital wasn't willing to tell us how many patients they're currently treating, but they have 192 beds here and they're not at capacity. Strauss says cases of bottled water continue to come in, and now with the tanker truck making a much needed delivery, they hope it will help to normalize their operations. So this truck behind me is delivering about 2,200 gallons of water to the hospital here. Another truck is bringing in another 3,000 gallons. That's just to get them through this portion of the delay. Again, this is just for flushing toilets here at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. Now we're going to send it to my colleague Matt Smith. He's in Novi, where St. John's Providence Park Hospital is also facing a similar situation. Matt?
Yeah, Shelley, here they actually had to take 4 dialysis patients and ship them off to another St. John's property over in Southfield. But for those that are left behind, this is hardly business as usual. Ambulances, for the time being, will not be directing patients here, but they will keep their doors open for anybody that comes here, drives here on their own. But for all intents and purposes, that means that if you're in this area, if you're in Novi, their doors are open and they're ready for the public.
So we were ready to go.
Inside the hospital, things continue to operate smoothly, albeit differently. This water is being moved to help manually flush toilets. Water stopped flowing through pipes overnight, but Margaret Klobuchar explains to me they were ready.
Right around 4 o'clock, we started to see the pressure go down to 0.
That's because the massive water main break on 14 Mile near Farmington Road. Work is ongoing, but it could be days until things are back online. Are you guys capable of doing this for several days?
We are. We are prepared absolutely to do this for several days.
Elsewhere, the city of Novi is trying to keep up and running to distribute water to its residents. The sports complex is open for non-drinking water. We caught up with Debbie Whalen, who was getting the necessities.
People were saying that they were filling their bathtubs up to use to flush water, but we didn't think of that in time, so it's nice to have this water close by.
She bought drinking water earlier, much like everyone else. This water delivery driver telling me he expects his 320 jugs to be out within the hour.
Just on call-ins, because they're already starting to call me.
More than half of that load dropped off at the hospital. More likely on its way. Now, the good thing out here at St. John's Providence Park Hospital in Novi is that they run training drills for this. So they actually already had a lot of the stuff on hand that they needed to make sure they had water ready for surgeries and everything else. They will not be doing elective surgeries here. They've already canceled those. They'll have to reschedule those throughout the week. And as we said, ambulances will not be bringing people in here for emergencies. But if you do have an issue, you need to go to the ER. You don't have to drive extra farther away. They are still taking patients here as of now. We are live in Novi this afternoon. Matthew Smith, 7 Action News.